Very warm greetings, my friends who are on this virtual academy platform. We have been moving regard to communication skills, usage of communication in professional context. Till now, we have discussed 5 sessions regard to concept of communication, its objectives, types of communications, and levels of communication. And in the last session, we have discussed regard to verbal communication and non-verbal communication also. Okay. From this session, we will be moving regard to communication skill base or strategies or somewhat communication ethic. So what I mean to say, communication skill base or communication strategy that are to be followed in various communication contexts like interpersonal communication context, intrapersonal communication context, I mean not in interpersonal communication context, group communication context, public communication context, and somewhat mass communication context also, right? So among those, we are moving on selected topics which will be useful for students, particularly shaping their attitude and moving towards success of their effective communication, and which will be useful in their career also, right? So coming from this session and coming onward sessions, we will be discussing regard to 6 important aspects or areas where communication strategies to be followed or ethics to be maintained, like this. One on public speaking. When you are in the public communication process, if you are a public speaker, if you are the speaker of that public communication context, what are those strategies to be followed? The next, when you are attending interviews or you are conducting interviews also, you must maintain some strategies and ethics. And debates, one kind of interpersonal communication tactics, one kind of exploration of one's thoughts. And team spirit, group discussion continues to this one. This is some team skill assessment technique. Nowadays, many recruitments, you can see the same in many recruitments. And the role play, some you can say the dumb show, exemplar show, and extempore work, one-man show, many kind of names you can call it as role play. You will be assigned a task on a particular topic, and a moment you are supposed to play that role, right? The next one important aspect I was adding here, mobile phone ethics, right? So these are some topics we will be discussing from this session onwards. First one, public speaking key traits, right? So public speaking, right? This is the product of public communication where the target audience will be present in front of the sender, or somewhat called as speaker. Here, one or two or few people are supposed to speak on that occasion. Limited number of speakers with limited number of speakers with specific audience gathered around our physical circumstance, right? So this is called as public communication. Here also you are supposed to convey some message. Here also you are supposed to use some media regard to communication conveyors like microphones, digital screens, and loudspeakers. And next one, here also the target people present over, the audience who are presented there. And here also you need to get the feedback in the form of claps, applauses, and some enlightened moments also. Of course, some negative aspects also, right? So public speaking context. When you are a speaker in a public communication process, you must need to maintain some important ethic, and you are supposed to possess some skill base or practices. We will discuss one by one. First one, here is the world well-known speaker, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, the missile man of India, and former president of India. You can see his speeches with a effective communicative way, right? Say we will discuss the sir's portraits basis, we will discuss the important key traits you must need to follow. First one, personality of the speaker. Many times I am saying that whenever you are speaking on an occasion, that resembles your behavior. That shows your behavior. Behavior is backed by your personality. Whatever is you are seeing in the form of behavior is nothing but the outcome of personality process. That's why. So personality of the speaker must be shown in the form of behavior. Can be shown in the form of behavior. So when you are speaking on a context in a public communication, environment, whatever words you are using, whatever words you are telling are spoken at that moment, and what is the body language cues you are using will be the screen show of your behavior and somewhat your personality. So I mean to say that the speaker's personality will be known by his speech, particularly in public context. How much time he is engaging, what he is speaking, whether he is going on the agenda, given topic, given agenda, or he is jumping, or he is coming to conclusion without making any explanation, or he is making assertiveness or dissertiveness, whether he is making affirmative sense or whether he is using affirmative sense, or whether he is empathetic or whether he is a detached nature. Everything will be, screened by the audience when the public speak is going on. That's why you must develop your personality traits regard to learning aspect, listening aspect, and thinking aspect, somewhat attitude formation, and many more concentration on your personal words. Often you are using the words, word base and vocabulary, and your sound base and your appearance and your body movements also, all are parts of your personality makeup. That's why the personality, if the personality makeup is properly done, that definitely that speaker's speech will be effective and attractive and fruitful and purposive, right? That's why this is important aspect. One's personality can be reflected in his speech, particularly in the public context. Next one, content and knowledge. What is the given topic, or on which topic you are going to speak or you are delivering is important. How much knowledge you have that on that topic, and the content. For example, if you have delivered a 40-minute talk, how much content it was conveyed, covered. Many people used to make passing of time by knowingly and unknowingly jumping to the another topic, and involving some controversial discussions and controversial issues, and moving side track when they are engaged in a public speech, right? So better you must avoid such nonsense and nuisance and controversial issues and personal topics if it is a public speaking context. So it is better to acquire knowledge regard to the topic, whatever you are going to deliver on that time, and you must develop some content in your cognitive and your handwritten form, or on something laptop or uses, right? Many kinds of tools supporting regard to public speak. That's why you must. So in order to develop the content and knowledge, you must listen the active speaker's speech or talks. You must read the content either in books or newspapers, journals, magazines, or something online platform. And you must comprehend itself what was the content you are gathered. Comprehend means you must understand, you must read, you must reproduce. So listening, active reading, active comprehending are three capsules, traits for developing your content. Your knowledge base. LRC, remember that. If you use this LRC, definitely you will be in a position to have more content than what the speaker, the audience are expecting at that moment. Next one, audience profile, very important. Your part is sender part and the opposite part is audience here. So you must know the audience profile. For example, if you are addressing a meeting where some rural people were gathered, don't think that rural people were illiterate or underachievers or passive learners, right? So here I mean to say, don't go for their community or some economic or some domain background, whether they may be, I mean, rural or they may be urban, what it may be. Your context is here, as audience profile, you must know that what was the learning capacity of the audience. Do they are active learners, or do they are passive learners, or do they are under learners? If they are active learners, you must be very, 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 very cautious before to deliver any word or anything. If they are passive learner, you must activate the learning quotient and then add something you want to say. If they are under learners, you must get down to their level and speak such things that could match their knowledge base. I mean, you are supposed to speak right from primary level to next level, right? So audience profile is very important. In the vocabulary, I mean, verbal communication strategies also we have discussed. Don't underestimate or don't degrade the people. Don't feel that you are superior. Just you are one among them. If you have that word in your cognitive and your mind and your action, then definitely your speech will be tuned with the expectations of the audience. So audience profile, knowing audience profile before your speech or speaking is must and important. Next one, passion. Must speak or you must talk or you must deliver any deliberation with love and interest, called as passion. If you work with passion, then you will receive utmost respect from others. This is PASSION. If you work with fashion, FASHION, then that leads to compassion. I means somebody make pity of your vocabulary, your language, your body language, your dress up or your appearance, and overall yourself. That's why passion. You must have passion in your profession, in your life, and each activity what is going to deliver you. That's why a speaker must be with passion. That passion pairs the audience expectations as well as their profiles. Next one, non-verbal communication. Usage of non-verbal communication is another important trait a public speaker must use. Right? So right from body language, gestures, eye contact. And next one, your proximity, touch, everything as important aspect. Particularly, this plays very important role in public speech. Don't you don't be a rigid pole in a public speech. You must make some dynamism. You must move your body freely. That doesn't mean that you move around the dais. Unnecessary movements also distorts your topic and they diverts the attention of the audience. That's why required and proper movements of your body and your standing ovation, I mean your standing posture, body posture is must be important. You must make up your usage of proper dressing. The distance between your feet and your legs must be quite minimum so that you will be in a active form. That's why so body language plays, particularly non-verbal languages, usage of your tone also, rising tone or falling tone or raise come falling tone or falling come raising tone, what it may be. You are supposed to use this voice culture and you are supposed to use some gestures on time being, and affirmative confirmation is most important. When they give big applause to you, you're supposed to use this folded hand. This is an affirmative, affirmative use trait that must be shown in the form of non-verbal context. That's why if you reply like this, definitely they will be more happy and delightful. Even though they are making feedback and they are saying something, but you don't listen to them, you are just speaking on yourself like a newsreader, definitely there will be a negative feedback you are going to taste. That's why affirmative responses you need to make, empathetic responses you need to make, and active response you need to make regard to usage of non-verbal communication cues in public speaking context. Next one, fun and emotional quotient. Of course, you are not an entertainer at that moment, but if you add certain or bit of or little bit of entertainment in your speech or talk, that will activate the brains of audience and that will make them very active, right? So you are supposed to mingle some sort of fun and emotional and some tits and bits in that time, so that they will be move with your speed, right? So usage of fun and emotional quotient are also very important. If it is a sad news, you must you must exhibit your emotions. If it is the happiest moment, you must be delightful, right? So these are some important aspects regard to fun and emotional quotient. Okay, don't deliver like a a machine, like an automatic announce machine, right? You are supposed to add some tips and some tricks, but while using fun and emotional quotient in your speech, you must beware that don't use such fun or emotional that will disturb the feeling of any one of that audience, and that will not be any controversial to any kind of the people who are surrounded there over, or somewhere over there, right? So without affecting without affecting or without disturbing the habituations or habits or a dressing culture or every culture, living culture of anyone, you can use such fun and emotional quotient in public, right? One more issue you must keep in your mind: fun. Why you are supposed to use fun? The audience profile, just we have discussed that. If the people, the audience with the age of 20 or 22 years, like your students, psychology says human being can listen uninterruptedly up to their age mark time. For example, if your audience with 20 years age, that means 20 minutes they can be engaged without any disturbances by any speaker. If it exceeds to 20 minutes, certainly they will divert themselves to another issue. That's why you want to bring them into back. You need to use some fun tips for every 20 minutes. Of course, this is not for the all age groups. After 45 age of 45 years, and the memory will be come down with a 50%. For example, the audience are 40 years old by 2. 50% means they could remember or they could connect to you with 20 minutes only, to the extent of 20 minutes only. Then also, that's why based on the audience profile, you are supposed to use some tips and bits regard to entertain them. If it is used by with an interval of time, definitely they will be tuned, so that they will be very active till the end of your last topic or point. Next one, you have media. Say this is the channel or this is the carrier. So if the large crowd is presented over there, then you are supposed to use loudspeakers. Don't use such loudspeakers in a group meeting. Don't use even a phone when your friend is in front of you in case of interpersonal communication. So proper, appropriate medium to be used. Nowadays, digital screens are available, right? You must, erect them in certain places where the audience could not see you properly, right? So before you are delivering or starting that public speech context, you must ensure that whether all equipments were properly connected and sound arrangements were properly made and sound settings and everything was properly made. You are supposed to keep a bypass power supply mechanism like USB or some generator regard to uninterruption of your talk and deliver, right? So appropriate medium must be choose. And last but not least, practice, practice, practice. By using all these key traits in your public speech, you will be effective. But when you will be effective, even though you are using this, but fail to present what you want to present, then the remedy is you must practice. You are supposed to speak on the topic on your own. I mean, yourself, intrapersonal, you must speak on to yourself. You must speak with your friends or parents or your students or your peer circle, and mirror presentation is one important aspect. Many times you practice so that every drawback or flaw in your speech will be eliminated or minimized so that the effective communication will be made up. That's why, say now we are using some digital screens, not only for audience, we are using some teleprompting screens and something, but any these techniques or technology technical equipment may not be available in all ways. That's why better, if you have a point to teach, no need to use a PowerPoint. If you have a point to teach, even though the PowerPoint is not responding, you will be able to communicate all these things. How this can be possible? By making better practice and by making substitute, not substitute, alternative arrangements. You are prepared yourself to present a topic by using PowerPoint presentation. Unfortunately, that PPT was not supporting. Then what you need to do? So it is better to get a print or a handout of that presentation with you. By seeing or by using of that handouts or printed documents, you can go and deliberate what the topic you are supposed to make at that moment. Right? So alternative arrangements regard to medium to be maintained, alternative arrangement regard to practice or some technical equipment support your need to be maintained in that moments. Dear students, these are some important traits. So your personality makeup, personality development to be gauged before you are going to speak. Right? Next one, your content or knowledge base will prove you what you are supposed to speak and what you are speaking, because audience are very smart nowadays. Next one, audience profile is very important. Don't underestimate or don't degrade. Just feel yourself that you are one among them. Don't show your superiority in any kind of your behavior, whether in your speak or your words or whether in your non-verbal cues also. Next one, passion. Deliver the talk with love and utmost interest and care. And non-verbal communication, your body posture, body language, gestures, all are important aspects you are supposed to use whenever or wherever they are required. And next one, fun and emotional quotient must be added on time being. Don't make every time fun, but fun is to be included at that one. Next one, appropriate medium and alternative medium or channels of communications to be preserved or maintained by yourself is important aspect. And next one, before to make speak, you are supposed to go with ultimate practice. Next thing I need to add apart from all these, your part or your what I mean to say, your position of the speaking order will expected by the people what you are saying. For example, you are the first speaker. Many things you can speak, but don't think that you are supposed to speak out of. You are not supposed to speak beyond your limit or scope. If you are a president of that meeting or gathering, public gathering, you are supposed to address each and everyone. Say many people used to address, for example, if there are 20 people who are, sit over that dais, each are supposed to speak on that occasion. Everybody want to address all people, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is irrelevant and impractice. Only 2 persons or 3. President is supposed to address each and every person who are sitting over there and in front of the dais. And the next one, chief guest and guest of honor and chief guest. All together, 2 or 3 people are supposed to address. Remaining speakers can direct start their speech. For example, good evening to all. Myself is so and so, and you are supposed to enter into topic. So what happening in practice, many of time are being spent over by addressing. Who need your addressing? Who need? In addressing also, there are some lot of mistakes are taken place. For example, if 5 people are gathered, I mean, sit over on the desk, you must know before you are addressing who is what and what. If you don't know any person's name, that will be an embarrassing situation. Mr. X, my friend, and the person behind that person, I don't know his name, he is also. How insulting nature. So, without knowing their names and designations or cadre, you are not supposed to use of that addressing. That's why left of the addressing, just to say good morning to all, everyone, I mean, a warm welcome to everyone. Like a simple salutation is very important. So that time will be saved and audience will be tuned their mindset immediately to your speak. Otherwise, everybody coming and singing the addressing name of all, I mean, naming, calling all, definitely audience will feel bored and they will discontent, right? That's why if they discontent you, nobody will be able to listen what you want to say, even though that is important aspect, right? So this is a proper addressing and limited addressing. Don't say proper addressing is important and limited addressing is must and should, right? So if you use these traits when you are I mean, speaking on public occasions, definitely you will be an effective communicator, right? The next topic today we will discuss regard to interview strategies. Interview may be defined as I mean, maybe categorized as a interpersonal context or communication, and maybe a group communication also. Sometime one-to-one interviews you can face, or sometime many-to-one interviews. If one-to-one, then definitely it will be a interpersonal communication level. If there are more than two person who are making interview, then I mean it is called as group context. So you are supposed to make usage of interpersonal strategies and interpersonal communication strategies and group communication strategies when you are facing interviews. Interview somewhat can be called as interview. This is an assessment of the candidate's personality makeup, right? So they want to know your inner feelings, your inner thought, somewhat your inside. What is inside of that candidate can be known by interview. Your technical expertise may be proven in practical test. Your physical capacity may be proved in physical test. Your academic capacity may be shown on your certificates. Your knowledge base may be proven in written test. But your insights or your inner feelings or your personality category can be known by a proper interview. That's why many of recruitments are now engaging interviews. Earlier, there was a interviews were provided only for technical aspects and higher level cadre post. Now every cadre post, because personality of the prospective candidate will reflect his behavior, and that will reflect the future employee behavior, and that will decide the fate of that organization. That's why proper behavior is there. I mean, if the candidate has proper behavior or not, what is his thinking capacity, what is his learning capacity, what is his thinking style, what is his attitude level, what is his temperament, what is his emotional balance stage, can be, I mean, depicted by a proper interview. Okay, like many interviews, in many interviews you may see common questions. Here questions are common, answers are common, but what is its purpose? How you are reacting, how you are responding, how much confident yourself, how much I mean straightforward you are, how much competent you are, and how will you uh, get involved in a team work. How, I mean, what is your leadership aspect, whether your leadership qualities, I mean, the leadership qualities of that candidate is, I mean, proper or under, right? That's is important aspect or objective regard to conducting of, I mean, interviews, right? So here also in interview, you are supposed to make usage of some communication strategies and skills, somewhat ethic. First one, practice good non-verbal communication. See, I'm saying that non-verbal communication plays very, very, very vital role in interview, right? So if you are sitting, you can see that image, one is asking, another is responding, right? So eye contact is important. For example, 3 people are interviewing you. Middle person asked you a question. You are supposed to see that middle person straightly and looking into his eyes, you are supposed to answer. Right? So eye contact is important, and your sitting posture is very important, and your usage of your gestures very important. Eyebrows, cheeks, nose, teeth, every body language aspect is very important. So for this, you are supposed to make some mock interview. You are supposed to attend some mock interview. Your friend may ask some questions. You are supposed to reply. Right? So I mean to say, mirror interview also very important. So better and much practice before you are going to attend an interview. Next one, dress for the job or company. For example, you are attending a pharmaceutical company. You must follow the pharmaceutical company dress code. You are attending a software industry job purpose, then you are supposed to make dress code of that one. Okay? So neat dressing very important. Proper dressing is very important. Light color dressing is very important. Somewhat bright color is also important, but that brightness shall not contrast the people who are making interview. Embarrassing colorings not suitable. Wearing of bracelets and something ornaments is not suitable. Unnecessary things shall not be, in your dressing. So that this could be very important. So here dressing will attract the people who are making interview, and your dress will utmost comfort. That means feeling freedom of yourself is called as comfort. So comfortable dress you are supposed to. Nowadays you can see that some stories like dressing is not important. You can attend the interview by, without any proper dressing, and you are having some bracelet, something. They are saying that dressing is not important, my attitude is important. All these are fake and funny. If you follow that, definitely you will be get it out. That's why proper dressing is important and suitable. Right? Next one, listen. First element of interview is active listening. What is the question being asked? Who is asking is important. Whether the middle person or whether the left side person or the right side person, whether the corner person. First, where that question is coming important and what is the question. Starting to ending letter is listening of starting to ending letter of that question is important. Don't intervene or interfere while the question is taking place. Don't react immediately. After completion of the question, take some gap, 5 to 10 seconds. Then you are supposed to react. So active listen make aware, activates your both body and mind towards response. Next one, don't talk too much. Many cases interviews are with one word or one sentence answers type questions, very short answer questions. You're supposed to react to that one. They asked yes or no. You are supposed to reply yes, and don't extend that yes. Sir, yes, this is yes. I will add some more thing. This is not suitable, right? You are supposed to confine your answer whether to yes or no, or one word or one sentence or one statement. That's it, enough. Don't go beyond that answer what they are expecting, and don't be too familiar. Even though you don't know that answer, some people try to cascade that answer very, 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 very clever way. So cascade that, and that answer means making apply of another topic here. That cascading or jumping or bluffing, all are very dangerous. If you don't know that answer, simply you shall admit that, sir, I don't know. Madam, I don't know this answer. Nobody will question you why you don't know. You must know. Nobody will threaten you, because if you know, only you can respond. Don't react out of that curiosity. right? So this is, so don't be too familiar with all aspects. Even you don't know, simply admit yourself, I don't know. Next, use appropriate language. Here, first aspect is body language, and here is verbal language, right? So proper language you are supposed to. If they are asking in the language that you don't know, you may take permission. Sir, I can speak in English. I can speak in Hindi. I can speak in some Telugu or sir, anything. I can answer. Nowadays, they are also accepting the language. See, this language is not important, but the content is very important. That's why use appropriate language, and don't mix many more languages together for a single answer. You can answer for a question purely in English. You can answer for a question purely in Hindi, but don't mingle or don't mix up some part of answer with English and some part of answer with English. I mean, some in Hindi, right? So this is an important aspect. And don't be cocky. Means even though they don't complete the question, you are supposed to make announce of answer. So this is a very, 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 important aspect. One must look into themselves. So don't be cocky. Right? The next one, take care to answer the questions. Only you are supposed to speak on the answers. Am I right, madam? No. Can I say some more answer, madam? No. What was the answer, madam? No. I don't know, madam, answer, but can you tell? No. So such things are to be taken care of. Very important. Right? You are just stick on to the question and its answer only. You know answer properly, you can say. Completely, you can only say. But even though you know that answer in a partial way, you are not supposed to use, reply that partial answer. Incomplete answer is very dangerous. Rather, you can admit yourself, I don't know, madam, or I don't know, sir. Next one, ask questions. Definitely, you can ask questions if it is provided. Some interviews, they will ask you some questions. After that, they will ask you, they will give you a chance. Speak on yourself. Do you have any queries? Do you have any concerns? Then only you are supposed to ask that one. Without their permission or without their room to yourself to speak, no need to use of questions to the people. Next one, don't appear desperate. Means self-respect, self-confident, self-aware. Very important aspects we have been making use of these words, right? Don't be desperate, right? You must be in a stable way. You must look in a stable way and sit in proper way, and usage of words is in proper way. Don't use nerves gestures, don't use irritations, or don't use deformative senses, or don't use some annoyance when you are appearing for an interview, right? So these are some important strategies one must follow. So this is one kind of communication skill base one student must get practice and add to their culture. I mean communication culture. Practice very well, particularly about the content, about the knowledge, latest information, or the topic, or the area in which the exam. For example, if you are facing an interview regard to an accountant, you must know the basic idea, practice of the accounting knowledge also. Right? Next one, proper dressing is important. Active listening is also important. Don't talk too much. Please stick on to the topic asked or given, and don't be too familiar. Even though you don't know answer, no need to respond that one. And use appropriate language. Don't mix up your languages. They want to know how able to speak yourself. They don't want to know how many languages you are knowing. Next one, don't be cocky. Don't be too much of a quick reaction is not permissible. Not suitable, right? And next one, be patient. Be wait till your turn comes. This is an important drawback in group interviews. Many people are nowadays conducting group interviews. In such case, a question is being answered by a participant one. Before to him, I mean, after completion, I mean, while going on attending, I mean, answering of participant, he will involve. I can say, I will know this is the some cocky behavior. Next one, take care of your answer to questions. No sideway, no jumping, no extra message. And ask question if you are permitted in the right time. And don't appear desperate. Be constant and stable and confident and be pleasant. Even you may face an interview for 5 to 10 or 15 minutes, hardly 30 minutes in such cases. Be enlightful yourself, be happy yourself, be emotional outspoken yourself, be emotional control yourself, and be associative yourself, and be connect to the context. Okay, if you follow that, definitely your inner capacity or your inner quality, somewhat called as personality, will be depicted in your behavior, and that will make appropriate I mean conclusion to the organization which is going to conduct your interviews. Okay, friends. So this is regard to interview strategies. Today we discuss regard to public speak traits. What are those to be followed in public speaking context, and interview strategies when you are facing certain interviews, right? And remaining topics will be continued in the same lecture series in the coming sessions. Till to the next session, stay at home and stay safe, be happy, and be practice these things and strategies yourself for making up yourself as a best speaker. Okay, happy time and good to see you.